What's going on, everybody? This is going to be a quick video on a cheap way that I made a trailer hitch mount for a Parachute. I'm doing a drag and drive event in a month or so here, so this is probably going to be a backup. We're going to make a nicer one using some tubing and weld together, but running out of time, so this is something I'm just doing for the time being. I'll put a link for the parts I got in the description if you're curious. I take no responsibility for anything that might happen with what you build, but this is just a sloppy way if you're looking to do something quick and dirty, and it seems like it would work, but I definitely think there's better ways out there. Alright, so today what we're working with, I got a Fox body parachute mount from Motion Raceworks. The idea hopefully is going to be pretty simple, but what we're trying to do is adapt a tow hitch adapter to fit the receiver of the parachute mount, and then obviously the tow hitch will then mount into the receiver. By doing this, I think we'll have additional distance between the bumper and the back of the car, which will give the trailer a little bit better turning radius, and then that way we can kind of swap things out pretty quickly. So for those that aren't really aware of how parachute mounts work, there's a bar that passes through. Probably can't see it very well here, but first thing that I'm going to do here is unmount the parachute, and then that'll gain us access to the hole in the bumper, and then try to figure out how we're going to get the tow hitch adapter through there. So if you're using the Motion Raceworks Mustang parachute mount and the supplied hardware, you're going to need 3/4 inch wrenches to get the locking bolt out. I also bought the optional bracket here for the cable. That's going to require a 1/8 hex and then a 3/8 wrench to get the bolts out. Alright, so now that we got this off, you can kind of compare. So this is a 1 1/4 inch adapter. I want to say this pipe is somewhere around 1.5 square to round. Basically what I want to do is I'm going to grind down the sides here to match the outer diameter of this parachute mount, and then depending on where this hole falls, we'll probably have to either move it or we might be able to use it. But essentially what we're trying to do here is get it so this can pass through the bumper and then bolt in just like we did with the parachute here. Alright, so we're just going to use my handy dandy cheapo Chicago Electric Harbor Freight grinder with the flapper disc on there. Again, we're just going to take a little bit off on the edges, trying to get this so this tube will fit inside the parachute mount. And I would just do a little bit at a time. I don't think it's going to take much material, so you're better off having it a little bit more snug than take too much off and it be loose. Alright, so we didn't take a whole lot off, but you can see that the edge is now, where the paint's cleaned off. It'll be a little bit more rounded, and we'll give it a quick test fit. Alright, so we still don't fit quite yet. So I kind of cheated a little now. I took my dial caliper here, and I got it set to the diameter of the pipe, obviously, which slides inside of the receiver. So what I'm going to do now is basically I'm checking edge to edge, and I'll have to just make sure that as long as this fits within there, we should be at least good on the bumper. So we ground away of the edges. If you look at it from the top now, probably hard to see on camera, but it's, I'd say, the better part of being round. Should fit now. Basically inserts just like your parachute. To do a little bit of wiggling here, but next thing is going to be making sure the bolt hole lines up. If it does, we'll reuse it. If not, drill a new hole. Kind of hard to see. I'm going to use a flashlight here. You can kind of see the original hole kind of protruding at the end, and then obviously the bolt hole slot there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a mark on the tube through that hole, and then we got to just drill a new one. Alright, so one thing I'd recommend before making your mark is use a bubble level, or if you have a laser or anything more fancy, make sure that this thing is straight, because obviously once you drill that hole, you're kind of at the mercy of whatever the alignment is. So it looks like we're good here, so we're gonna make a mark and we'll get drilling. All right, so all I did was take a Sharpie. Might be hard to see on camera here, but you can see where the original hole is and then where we gotta drill the next one. All right, so now we got both holes. This is the original, this is the new one. Here's the bolt that goes through the parachute mount. See, it drops in real nicely. I did taper the edges just to take the edge off, make it a little bit simpler there, but now we'll try to install it and see if everything lines up. Everything's bolted in now. I haven't tightened the bolt in the back all the way, so that movement will probably go away. But so now all we got to do, slide in our hitch, and then we'll pull the car out of the garage and see how the trailer lines up on here. All right, so here's the final result. Overall, looks pretty good. I think the height of the trailer, as far as the angle of the tongue and everything, looks actually pretty good without really planning any of this. This is the trailer that I'll be modifying. It's going to be probably in another video here. It's just a Harbor Freight trailer that Mike Bryka was able to generously let me use. Gonna redo the lighting on it, build a top to it, and you know, make it more of a drag and drive trailer. This was just something that, you know, he had laying around that I'm gonna make work. As far as safety chains, I'm probably gonna weld some brackets to this part, so that way if for some reason it comes disconnected, we'll still have that function. As far as lights, this has got a standard trailer plug on there. I might switch that to a Deutz connector, but I'll be doing that obviously not today. Overall though, pretty straightforward. I wouldn't recommend this style hitch without some sort of bracing, unless you're doing a light trailer like I am. I don't think the overall weight's going to be very heavy. Right now the trailer I could move by myself, and probably won't be super heavy when it's loaded, but open to suggestions. If anybody has any sort of ideas on how I can improve this, definitely would like to hear from you. Otherwise, if you want to see more, follow the journey, and make sure to subscribe. I appreciate it. Thanks.